You're watching the very special India Today Mind Rocks Youth Summit with me, Nabila Jamal. And today we have a special guest joining us, Rana Daggubati, the significant face of the South, actor par excellence. We all know him as Ballala Deva from Bahubali. Joining us, Rana, thank you. You've broken all our hearts with your wedding announcement here.
Well, I think I'm growing up and I think it's time to get married, no?
Why? Is there like a written rule that you've got to get married at this time, especially when you're peaking with all the women fans?
Well, nothing much for single people to do out in this world, so I think it's best to be married.
Did the lockdown really drive you? You know, they say distance makes the heart grow fonder.
No. Well, my fiance lives like 3 kilometers from my house, so it's like we're in the same vicinity.
Okay, so you met her quite regularly. So yeah, you had nothing else to do. You were there in front of each other all the while, and then eventually decided, okay, let's just make this official.
No. Well, I think it's sometimes you know when the right time is, and that's about it. So I don't question when things are going very correctly.
Awesome. So you want to tell us a little about Mihika Bajaj? We're very curious to know because, like I said, you have a huge female following within your industry across the country.
Life as private as possible. That's how I've always been. So which is why you just heard about all the information very quickly. But she's lovely. I think we kind of just make a great pair. We just there's positive energy from one another. So I think it's a good life.
It's a good life, but as private as it is, this is possibly the first time that we saw you all mushy on social media.
See, which is why I don't keep talking about it. Huh?
Right? I mean, going down on your knees, proposing, gosh. I mean, tell me one other actor who's done it so elaborately and so, I mean, we seldom see stars putting this out, a proposal to their loved one, and the way you did it, it's certainly set precedence, I should say, because guys are shy, all right? They wouldn't really make that announcement in such a way where you're actually going down on your knees and making a formal proposal. You did it, you put it up on social media, you made the announcement. This is every girl's dream, trust me.
Okay, see, one is I don't know what all you've seen on social media, but I think the other actors don't get a chance because there's always media around them, and I think it's just nicer for me that way.
All right, so it was adorable, super cute. Congratulations on the Roka and all the ceremonies that took place.
Thank you.
Any word on the wedding date?
Well, I'm getting married on the 8th of August, so it's right around the corner. Yes.
Awesome. So amid the lockdown, you found love. Is that what kept you busy? And if not, what else that really absorbed your attention on the whole, Rana?
Well, see, I mean, this is on a personal front. I think it's probably been the best time of my life, getting married. I think that's been pretty awesome. On a professional front, obviously, we know many things have been very, very different. We don't know. It's quite uncertain what the situation is, but I think it's time to do what we can do best, which is develop the right content, understand what are new formats of storytelling. And, you know, there's a new world out there that requires a lot of content and a lot of storytelling. So I think I'm good that way.
All right. So I hear that you're doing a good bunch of animation series that you're keeping yourself busy with, and you already foresaw the effects of the lockdown and the pandemic, more importantly on the industry as such. But, you know, you're someone who always motivated, never lost hope, and in hindsight, since you knew that this is going to be detrimental for the industry to function in a normal fashion, shift all of it, at least shift the ideas and innovative thoughts that you have onto OTT platforms. So you've been promoting OTT quite much. Take us through your flair on OTT platforms. You've also produced a couple of projects on Netflix, your latest being Krishna with his Leelas.
Yeah, Krishna and his Leelas. So that's a film that released 2 weeks ago on Netflix and was very, very successful, very positive. It's been on the top lists for a while now. It's also on a regional platform called AHA. So I think for a film of that nature, for talent that's very new or has done probably the first or second film, I think getting a national-wide reach on OTT, I think has been something quite phenomenal. The second thing that I'm doing is actually I have an animation show which will also be on one of the OTTs very soon. It's a show, it's a talk show called Why Are You? And yeah, I think today is, I mean, for the next 12 months in realistic timelines, I think I don't think there's any big project that we can start very quickly or get complete very quickly. So I think the priority has shifted to what we can do, and as actors or producers, we have a bunch of other skills. We have different ways of storytelling, and I think we'll find the best way. And I think animation is something I've been fond of when I was 16 years old. It was my first job before I was an actor. So, well, there it is. I just put two and two together, and that's the beginning of the show. That's Why Are You?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of, your Netflix production there, Krishna and his Leelas, it came in with a lot of appreciation, at the same time, that much flack that it received for, hurting religious sentiments. What's your take on that? As much as people say that this could be a modern take on Krishna and Leela.
See, these are general names, right? Like, see, I have like 10 other Telugu films that are titled Krishna. And it's just that the OTT has been much bigger in terms of what it is. The reach of an OTT has been so much larger for films like these. It's just that they got noticed. Now, if you watch the film, it's no reference harming anybody or anything. And I'd never be somebody who does that, because I mean, I'm probably the biggest fan of mythology and storytelling in mythology. And I do far more than what anyone's doing in the mythology space. So I'd be no one to ever hurt any of these sentiments, or any product that I make will never hurt any sentiments like that.
Great. All right. So when we speak of OTT platforms, it really shifts the focus from individual stars who are looked up as demigods by fans at large, especially in the South industries. They go to theaters, watch a film, wait for weeks, collect that kind of money to go splurge it on one film at the nearest theater, only to watch their favorite star on the big screen, right? But OTT shifts that focus to several other talented artists, and then now you have too many of them that you look up to. Do you think that that shift is going to be detrimental to commercial films at large?
Well, see, first it's going to be very, very different, right? It's two different functionalities. And definitely there'll be a change. Every time there is a new format of viewing or telling stories, we will always find different types of talent addressing that. And I think the OTT is probably the most democratic that one can get, or one can ask for an actor or a filmmaker, I think. You can tell whatever story you want in the manner that you want it, in the length that you want it. So I think it gives a flexibility first for talent and filmmakers. So I think that's here to stay, and there'll be a lot of interesting content we'll get to see on OTT. Then in terms of just going large spectacle, in terms of making these big spectacle-based films, I think theatrical will always be that exit, because that's a space where where it's beyond a film, it becomes an experience there. So I think you'll start seeing a lot more spectacle-based film, a lot more big star-based films being in the theaters, and there'll be different content that's more drama-driven, that has characters that you want to enjoy for a longer period of time than in a feature film. I think that's where the OTT will go. So the content will kind of derive where each of these things go, and
good content, great viewership. That's basically
Correct.
Content to be the driving factor. Very few actors, Rana, who've actually essayed the role of a hero and a villain, and who've been accepted so wholeheartedly. You've played both those characters. What are you more comfortable with? Even Bollywood, I mean, they look at you as this giant, big, handsome villain.
Well, see, one is, a role is picked up for the role, right? It never was.
Do you enjoy playing those roles? Because it suits your personality.
100%, 100%. See, being good comes with restrictions. Being bad is, you can do whatever you want. And I think that's the part of playing the bad guy that I like. Everything that I can't do in real life, that I'll be punished or jailed for, I think I get to do it in the movies. I think so. It's a good way to live an alter ego.
I know. What's that evil streak that you have? We know the nice things about you, at least so as much as that you've portrayed. But something that is evil about you, that your parents or maybe your people around you, your favorite people, would always nag you for.
I mean, not an evil guy. I mean, that sense, if that's what you're asking, But see,
being possessive sometimes can turn into an evil side.
yeah,
Are you possessive? Are you obsessive? Are you, I don't know, anything over the
no,
board? OTT,
uh, definitely. See,
over
I
the
mean,
top.
well, I always have a sense that I need to create and constantly tell stories. So I think whether it's lockdown, no lockdown, I'll always be at work doing something or the other. So I think that's something I have, slightly obsessive in that nature, I guess.
Okay.
That's what you call it. Uh, so I think when Balal Deva was all of that, he was obsessive to another level. So I think I got everything that I don't do in my personal life 100% there. So yeah, negative things have their fun. So again, it's character to character. It's hard to pinpoint what I like and what I don't like. That's very hard.
All right. How do you treat your fans really, like, Pranam? I mean, like I said, larger than life image of stars in the South. You also have that image largely. Your father has been a great producer, a veteran producer. So, films, family, fans, what's it
Yeah.
like at hometown?
See, one is I think where I come from, we've also been in. My father's been a producer. My granddad's been a producer. We've been running studios, and that's been
Yeah.
the job. So we've been in the process of making content and making talent, right? So at that point, all privileges go down the window. It's you got to get to work, and that's where anything happens.
Yeah.
So
All,
if we're
all
not
that talk about nepotism?
yeah, it doesn't happen here in South India. See, you got whether you well, we're working overtime in lockdown. That's what nepotism does here. I'm doing 2 animation shows. I have one coming up next week. I have a release coming in. I had a release 2 weeks ago. So I think it's here. It's a different funda. No, I mean when you have a responsibility to run a company, when you have a responsibility to run such a large organization, and where a large part of the revenue comes from theatrical business. Now that's not going to be around for a little while. There's other things we need to do very quickly to make sure that the talent we have is consistently delivering stuff. Because there's a world open, there is the OTT world open, and there's always a want for content. So I think creatively, there's no artist that's now you see there's so much content that's been made in the last 6 months that's just been made at home by different artists from across the world. So I think uh, so that's never going to stop an artist. So I think that's really our job, just to keep going and creating stuff.
Rana, you know what? Considering that the cry against nepotism grows louder, would you agree that if you don't have talent, even if you're coming from the first family or a film family, which is very predominant in the South, you have huge film families, clusters, where actors are coming out left, right, and center. Everyone's brother, sister, brother-in-law, father-in-law, all of them are into films. So without the
See,
talent, you can't make it. Would you agree?
without the skill you can't make it anywhere. See, and I'll tell you something about nepotism. It comes from a Indian understanding of what a family is. See, if you have a father who's worked very hard all his life, has 3 children, and he wants to provide properly for the 3 children, he'll provide in the means that they understand. Means in terms of capital, means in the terms of knowledge. So definitely we'd be part of the privileged people who've been born, and there's no taking that away. But with that comes great knowledge and comes even greater responsibility. Now, we today in lockdown, we still have to continue to run a company that has over 700 employees. We have to still continue paying salaries. We have to still make sure that the organization is back very quickly. So there's always a responsibility attached, and I think, and without skill, there's no way. Whoever you are, you're not going to make it in a marketplace like this.
Absolutely. And like you said, it showers all the more of a responsibility on you to take your legacy forward, your family's legacy forward. So you either do well or you give up. It's just one of the two. So it's the
And
skill
see,
and the talent.
here you don't have an option of giving up. Here, see, there's no option of giving up. You got to shoot 300 days a year. You got to make films. You got to make sure the films are right. You got to make sure it's the audience keep liking everything that you make, and you got to keep getting better.
All
And that's the
right.
job.
So speaking of which, you said animation series is what you're at. We have a few questions from you, from a bunch of them. Abhay Gupta from Galgotia's University asks, will animation films be accepted the same way as any other commercial movies?
Well, it's an art form, right? See, as long as you start understanding its storytelling, see, the more that we create a culture in India where you start liking art and entertainment, and that's what will pretty much happen. So I think there's no reason why it won't create a mainstream narrative once there's enough volume.
If I ask you about how one should really work on acting skills and improvise himself, what would you say? This is a question coming in from Robin Raj, Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies. How
Well,
to hone your acting skills, sharpen it.
First, I'm saying in terms of just being observant in terms of what people do and observing people, right? See, first, it comes from life. It comes from understanding life. Comes from reading life, reading people, and then starting to understand if you're able to resonate with certain emotions, and you'll be able to portray that character. So I think understanding people, understanding emotions, the more you're able to do that, you just become a better and better actor.
All right. Rana, like I said, you've been so motivated and driven yourself. Speaking of Bollywood, transcending borders from the South to Bollywood, very few actors have really made that pathway, and you've done it successfully. You're one of the favorites from the South for Bollywood. Is there a tried and tested formula for stepping into
Well,
on the other side?
I
I'm
never
not saying
thought-
this side is better and that side, I'm not comparing, but I'm just saying transcending into Bollywood, has that been a tried and tested formula, or do you need to have that kind of spark?
See, well, first, I never, there was never a difference when I was watching movies when I was growing up. It didn't matter if it was a Hindi film, a Telugu film, or a Tamil film, right? So when I started acting, and that didn't have to matter. So I just went purely based on content. There was a regional political film as my first called Leader. Then there was a film based on crime and drugs in Goa that was called Dammarodam. One I could tell in Telugu, one I could was only possible to tell in Hindi. So I think that drove me to being in different places, and also finally understanding and realizing the space, saying stories can travel, and that's really what One India is, and one storytelling is. I feel like now we can make films in any language, and there'll be a whole country out there if the film is right.
All right, and if I have to ask you in all of this, your career path and graph, has there been one magic moment?
Well, I think most have been magical moments only, right from. And I think what I say, the biggest magical moments of my life probably would have been Bahubali, and just understanding everything. I'm saying, it's funny we talk now. It's been about 6 years from the start. Yesterday, I think was 6 years on the start day of shooting.
Yeah.
And see, just the amount that we were able to learn, grow in these 6 years, make these two big films, and the knowledge that it's given us, the popularity that's given us, or the license that it's given us to make extremely bold decisions. And if it's content that's right, there's no reason why there won't be an auditorium for it.
All right. Speaking of your fitness and the way you keep in shape during this lockdown, it must have been quite quite a reliever for you to. I mean, if not for actual work, what you can do is chisel your body in the meantime. And we hear that you've been doing that. You're looking fit as ever. Tell us how you've really made use of that time to sort of shape up and your time with your family, which you barely must have spent otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, this is the longest I've been home. I've never been home so long. But it's fun that way. It's been awesome just spending time at home. But in terms of fitness, right, most of my life fitness has been governed by the character that I play. Like either I have to play a big tyrant king where I gotta be big, or I was playing actually playing the role of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu in a Telugu film. I had to look like him, so I had to lose all that weight. Then I was playing Bandev in Hathi Mere Saathi, which was a completely different look. And so I think this is the only time where nothing governs me. So I just said, okay, let me just. So it's pretty basic now. Actually, this is pretty much my easier time where there's no certain way I have to look. I can just look the way I want.
Okay. There is this student from Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Ashish Kumar, who's very keen on knowing. I mean, you've been a very vocal, said it time and again that, nothing should stop you in life. You yourself have slightly blurred vision on one eye, your right eye is slightly weaker, but you still pulled through, and the success that you. What is that? Tell us about it. So this boy actually wants to know, how do you do stunts? How is it possible with that? That's just giving us that kind of motivation.
The eye eye is the last thing that bothers me when I do a stunt. There are a lot more broken bones. There are a lot more damaged parts in the body that that I've faced over years, and the eye has been the least of the problems.
But
Not even in consideration right now.
But look at your, I mean, the courage and the resilience that you've shown is exceptional. You know, that's what I think motivates people who love you for who you are. You've constantly been a positive guy. That's one thing that you've displayed.
Well, that's the only way to go. Yeah, the rest of the other parts, the other directions are all boring.
Okay, tell me, I'm going to come back to the wedding part of it because I can't get over it. I know many people can't get over it either. The whole industry must be heartbroken, yeah? So many of your female fans and those who worked with you. I mean, we hear that you had a whole lot of admiration from a lot of them.
Everyone's very happy for me.
Really?
That's been what I've
finally Rana settles down.
Yeah, so that's been more what I got than what you were saying.
Yeah, so finally Rana settles down.
Yeah, there you go. No, so it's. I mean, see, look at it. Most of my friends are married. Everyone's married. So I think.
But your best friend isn't married. Prabhas is still the most eligible bachelor, and so were you until now.
Yes, so I think it's best it stays with him now.
I know. When is Prabhas getting married? Any word on that? Did you have any talk?
Why don't you call him? I don't know. Huh?
Well, since you're motivating him, have you met him? What's the equation between the two right now? I mean, you guys have been so close.
Well, now everyone's in lockdown, so we're all doing this. Everyone meets digitally only. So we're all on Zooms or all the WhatsApp calls or any of those things. That's the only way all of us connect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when this whole proposal thing happened, you broke the news to your family. How did they take it? Your father?
Well, I mean, see, everyone is happy with it. I mean, they know everyone. So well, this is good stuff. I don't talk much. I just like to keep my private life private. So with my family or my wife, I just like to keep it that way.
Wife! You said wife! We heard you say wife.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you get married. I don't know how you're so excited about it.
Yeah, you're saying it in advance, which is super cute. Did you learn to cook in the lockdown?
No, not really. I just know basic stuff, what I knew before, and just continue to do that. That was not a skill that I was...
At all?
No, not very.
So basically workouts kept you busy?
Yeah, workouts and doing a lot of animation, right? It's been pretty fun. I mean, I haven't done this in 15 years, I think. So it's been pretty amazing.
Okay. Your word of suggestion to the youth of today, considering there's that kind of social media presence, all of us are going berserk with 100 ideas online. There's so much hate mongering. Just to give a glimpse of what happened with Sushant Singh Rajput, what happened to him, the way the social media perceived it and put it across, it gives a whole different spin. And then after the many other cases that came to fore, it's quite depressing.
Anything about social media, right? Whether it's any case, not particular to one thing. It's a large number of people who are making comments. That's what social media means. And the fundamental is it costs nobody anything to say something.
Yeah.
Especially on social media. So it's free, right? So I think one needs to be smarter than that. If not, they'd be doing your jobs, correct?
Yeah.
So I don't think one needs to take that very, very seriously. I think it's first and foremost there should be a certain discipline to things, and there's no way you expect that from social media, because it's not one person, it's millions and millions, right? And opinions. So, and whether many opinions that are not even being heard because they don't even want to post on it, because the real things are getting done separately. So I think the lesser we focus on how social media governs our life, and the better it is to do our job and selectively, creatively be inclined. I think that's more way I follow. So I don't react too much.
Choose what you want to hear. Let out.
Wise.
Shut off.
When you have too much information out there, you have to pick what you need and keep going, right? So you can't be in a buffet every day. So you still have to pick what you need.
Nice one.
That's how it works.
Speaking of buffet, what's your favorite food?
It's my favorite food. I'm a Hyderabadi guy, so biryani.
Yeah.
Hyderabad.
Mutton, chicken.
All of it.
Excellent. Favorite destination to travel? What are you missing out on?
I mean, first, I think I'm very happy that I'm home. I don't think I ever thought I'd be home for so long, and I'm very, very happy about that.
All right, Rana, so apart from the acting and the animation series, any fun things that you're doing, playing some video games? What's on your Netflix? Any suggestions that you want to tell us that you're watching on your OTT platforms? Amazon, Netflix, any other?
Well, the coolest thing that I watched, I think, this whole season is Love, Death and Robots.
Okay.
I think that's a really cool anthology that's on Netflix. I think it's a must. Everyone watches it. And fun things. My job is fun. Yeah, making animation, all of that is fun. So my job keeps me entertained.
So that itself is enough. Are you a singer, Rana?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Any favorite kind of music, genre?
It again varies very much from what I'm liking, right? See, because when we're content people, you just like all kinds of different content. There's no, you like it for whatever that genre is. So there's no favorite that I listen to all the time. It's
a whole concoction.
Yeah, it's
a few promising stars that you want to mention?
Few promising stars. So many.
Anyone that you have been admiring lately? In the lockdown, we are forced to watch a lot of stuff, right? Anything that you really admired?
Well, I've been watching a lot of cinema that's been like I saw two films that were produced out of Africa, and that's the first. They're two gangster-based films. Actually, I think they're on Netflix, and that's the first time I've seen any African production. And the realness of that entire environment, those actors. I think I don't even know their names, but I think that's something that just really caught my attention because it was so raw and real and just captured on camera. So that's I think those are the new
I think what OTT does is it also forces, at least pushes us to watch many regional, international, diverse kind of films.
And now you got to be globally relevant in whatever you're doing. And so I think whether it's an artist from Africa or whether it's an artist from Kerala, you're going to see him across the globe.
True, and who better who's experienced that kind of exposure with Bahubali, the way it's transcended borders. Rana, excellent job. We're so glad to have you. A quick word as I wrap on your upcoming work. Do you want to mention a projects that you're working on?
Well, I have a film called Hathi Mere Saathi that was ready to release at the end of April, but that's not out yet. But so hopefully once the theaters are back, that film will be out in 3 languages. And I have another film called Virata Parvam that I have a week or 10 days of shoot left for. And that's a Naxal-based story that's set in Middle India in the early 90s. So these are the 2 films that I have currently on floors.
Awesome. Rana, thank you very much. Super talking to you. All luck to the wedding that's due to happen in a few days' time. We're super excited to see the pictures. All the best to you on your work front and your personal life. Thank you.